What's going on, guys? It's Justice here and welcome to a new video. This one's going to be covering World of Warcraft. I'm getting back into this game, really enjoying it, and a large reason for that is because of just really being into social gaming and just having a laugh with mates. And there's a couple of mates, I've got a group of friends who I play World of Warcraft with, one in particular called Toby, and we've been leveling up through all of the zones on World of Warcraft, and this video is just going to share with you guys my experience and my thoughts on the journey of leveling through whilst playing a Protection Warrior, which is a tank spec on WoW. But yeah, just to provide a bit more context, I don't play RuneScape anymore. I'm sure many of you guys are aware of that now, and I've said it in a few videos in the past. Inevitably, you know, your interest slips off as there's a lack of combat or PvM content coming out. And I have heard of the Solak boss encounter, which is being developed by Kyle and the team. So I can see myself coming back to give that a go on release December, January time for a laugh. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to see, I'll just do it as long as I enjoy it. We'll see what the longevity is with that boss encounter. But just moving straight into this video with World of Warcraft, I am playing, I've been playing quite a bit of WoW the past 2 weeks in combination with a variety of other games as well. I've been essentially doing traditional leveling, but with heirloom gear, and heirloom gear scales up as you level up, so you have no need really to faff around picking up gear as much. You can basically just dismantle most of the gear that you pick up, and you can just concentrate on leveling and upskilling yourself with the abilities. I did have to upgrade heirloom gear a couple of times. There are 3 upgrades in total. You buy the first lot and then you have to upgrade it twice after that. And I went through all of the zones. What was different about this time when playing World of Warcraft is that initially my mindset was just to rush to the end game and just do all of the end game content. Because that essentially is the focal point of World of Warcraft. It's very focused around the end game, so like Mythic Dungeons right now, Legion expansion, and raiding. However, I completely lost the whole leveling experience and the whole experience of being immersed into the game and really learning about the spec or the class that I was playing and actually questioning, is this the spec I actually want to play as a main account? So ironically, I've actually gone back to the very first class that I set up when first buying World of Warcraft, which was the Protection Warrior tank spec, and I decided to really engross myself into that. And yeah, ironically, I've actually figured out that this actually is my most favorite class and spec to play in World of Warcraft so far. There's loads of others that I have yet to try out, but at the moment I'm really feeling connected to the game and I'm really feeling connected to the class, and it just feels right. And I'm sure anyone who's played World of Warcraft or any sort of MMO game, or even like Destiny, for example, which yeah, is an MMO FPS, and you know, choosing between Titan spec, Warlock, or Hunter, just having to choose and make that choice is one of the most difficult things to do on a game where there is such a variety. And it does take time, and I think I didn't appreciate that at the beginning, and then I went off the game again for a bit, and I've gone back now and trying out a new spec and class, which I am enjoying the game more now than what I did when I wasn't enjoying it anyway, if you know what I mean. It's like a totally different level right now. I'm really engrossed into it, and I think tanking in general I've really become accustomed to. And the real question is, will I enjoy the game as much at the end game with this class? And that's going to be the next question that I hopefully will answer, and maybe I'll make a vid on that as well. But essentially, I did traditional leveling, went through all the zones, got Outland, Azeroth, and you've got Northrend, some amazing zones, just to name a couple which I really liked, the Ice Crown and Storm Peak. So essentially Northrend in general, it just really had that warrior-esque Viking sort of feeling, and I really liked it because of that. The Lich King dungeon Nexus was a real revelation. Going into that dungeon and the Lich King theme was incredible. I think that particular area was outstanding, and I think in general, whenever I play a game, I really love snowy areas. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a personal preference, but anything snowy or Viking related, medieval sort of related, I love on games. And then you've got the Pandaria content, which I absolutely loved as well. The music, by the way, I strongly recommend if you really want to get immersed into leveling up on World of Warcraft. It really depends on what your preferences are, but leveling up through the questing zones, there are certain zones that have just absolutely incredible music that really helps you get immersed into the gameplay. And yeah, to be honest, just to provide a bit more context of why I've really gone back to World of Warcraft, I'm trying to find a game, or I found a game that will just fill that void while I'm waiting for Destiny 2. I'm going to be getting Destiny 2 on PC, which is being released October the 24th, and I really just wanted a game to fill a void, and a game that I could come home from work and just chill out to. You know, when you're at work all day and your brain's going crazy and you just want to come home, you don't really want to be stressing out on a game like PUBG. PUBG is incredible, and I still play that very actively and have been since the release in April. It's a fantastic game. You've seen a few of my videos, you've seen my streams maybe, and just overall I play it a lot. But it's not always the right game to come home to after a long day at work, and sometimes you just want to log on and chill out on a game. World of Warcraft I found is fantastic for that, because you've got that combination of chilling out on a game but also having a laugh with friends. So that's why I've came back, and I've really become accustomed to playing a bit of World of Warcraft after work now, and leveling up Protection Warrior and really getting immersed into the gameplay with all of the in-game audio on. I think Blizzard do a fantastic job with the music overlays within the zones, and each area has its own theme, and the music really adds value to that. So another benefit of just leveling through the zones traditionally and really getting immersed doing quests, most of these again are kill and collect. You do see the technology in the game engine grow as you play through the zones, which is also really cool to see, and I'm blown away with how some of these look considering how old they are. The quests become more sophisticated as you level up, moving away from methods that weren't popular, such as escort missions, where you're having to guide an NPC through an area. I just want to clarify what that is. These are adapted or shortened, but overall questing keeps its core mechanics, which you pick up on, and you start to blitz through them whilst taking in the environment around you. But the method me and Toby used was level up through the quests and then just do random dungeon queues to get dungeons we hadn't done before, and these also contain quests in them, so we just escalate our experience. We'd run dungeons until it got repetitive, as in matching us with the same dungeon. And by the way, there was one particular dungeon called Utgard, and any veteran WoW players will know exactly what dungeon I'm on about. Utgard, I got that 6 or 7 times in a row, which was madness. So I decided to switch it up again and went back to questing. And I think it's just about finding that balance between questing and then when you're in the mood for it, do some dungeons, but not constantly repeat them, because then it becomes repetitive. The only positive thing though about getting the same dungeon over and over again and repeating it, for example 6 times in a row, is that it gave me the benefit of becoming familiar with the dungeon layout and the mobs to aggro. As the tank, I set the tempo of the dungeon and I aggro, I choose what mobs to aggro and those to skip out. And then it allowed me to focus on my abilities as well and my talents and really get a feel of my rotations. So that is definitely one positive about repeating the same dungeon straight after each other. I had my own personal guide though, you could say, as Toby planned the leveling path we would take, as in the zones we went through, and if you really want to know what they are, let me know in the comment section. I will think of just writing out that path, that leveling path in the description or the comment section. There is quite a variety of paths you can choose from. It's very open world, and because of the way the leveling is scaled now, because all this is older content, you'll never get a chance to go through every square inch of the zone, and therefore you can choose which leveling path you want to take. Different zones will have different level margins which are appropriate for you. We also had a great combo with me being the tank and Toby healing when in dungeons and DPSing when questing. This worked out well and basically resulted in insta queues for dungeons. So if you want to get into the game or level through zones, I'd recommend doing it with a friend and go with a tank healing combo for dungeon running. Overall, fantastic game in general if you're into your MMOs. I'd say my biggest learning curves is not to take it to heart straight away. If you're not enjoying the game with a particular class or spec, there is such a variety out there. You kind of have to invest the time into the game and try out different ones. A good place to start is to think about what sort of playstyle you want to be involved in. Do you want to be a caster or a melee? Those are very, very big decisions straight away. Do you want to be a channeling caster, or do you want to be a caster that has a lot of procs and there's a lot of insta-casts, a lot of insta-spell casting? Do you want to be a tank setting the tempo and being aggressive and being almost the lead within dungeons, you could say? Or do you want to play more of a support role and be a healer and making sure that your whole team survives through that dungeon or through that raid? And like I said, there's nothing wrong with trying out different things. And there was a few questions that have been asked to me on stream recently about, is there a lot of pressure to maintain and catch up and maintain at a high level? And also, is it too late to start playing? And different questions like that. Firstly, it doesn't have to be that hard. It's very hard to maintain at the highest level where you're running Mythic, where you're a Mythic Raider, let's say. From what I've been told from a couple of friends who do that sort of thing, I've been told it's very, very difficult, and that's like with any game. But if you just want to enjoy the end game content, it's not that difficult to maintain, and there's not a lot of pressure. You can really go at it at your own pace, but it is very focused around the end game. So in terms of is it too late to catch up? Absolutely not. What Blizzard are very good for is there's lots of catch-up mechanics, and these catch-up mechanics are very geared around leveling up and getting to the end game. And then it's balanced out at the end game, so those who are veteran players don't feel like they've missed out or wasted their time. So it's very balanced. It's balanced in a good way anyway, and Blizzard have done a very good job at that. So there's lots of catch-up mechanics in order to progress through and get to the end game as fast as possible. But also, if you're going to be training up a new character like I have, I've been doing it such a chill manner that you can just kind of play the. It really depends on how you want to play the game, because I've just been leveling up through all the zones, taking it easy, and just having a laugh with friends, and that's exactly what you can do. And even if you don't have anyone to start the game with, you can just go in there, start on a new character, and there's loads of people on the game who are leveling up alts and leveling up, you know, second, third accounts, and there's always people therefore to dungeon queue with, depending on the time zones and your servers. But there is definitely a lot of activity out there for when you're leveling up, so I wouldn't worry at all about starting too late. You know, in terms of time it takes around to get to 100, you're looking at like 20-30 hours if you're taking it easy, and then just well and truly way quicker than that if you're not taking it easy. So, you know, I wouldn't even worry about speed, time, just take it easy, go in, have a laugh, see what the game, see how you feel with the game, and yeah, that's my personal opinion. And that I'm just sharing with you guys my experience of World of Warcraft. It's a great game I found to come home from work and chill out on, and that's what I'm using it for right now whilst waiting for Destiny 2, and we'll just see if I keep enjoying it. And the real question will be, will I enjoy this particular class and spec as much as I am right now at the end game? I'm really looking forward to delving into that as I'm learning the role more and becoming accustomed to it, and I'll definitely be sharing that progress with you guys if you want to see it. Thank you very much guys for listening and watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed my ramble, as these videos tend to turn out to be. Thank you very much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments section, and I will see you guys in the next one.
His weapons are yours now, champion. There is nothing left for us here. Let us feast in the halls of valor together.